Now, as we head into our final panel before lunch, we are going to turn our focus to one of the most pressing challenges of our time, one that will shape the focus and the future of the economy. It is, of course, sustainability. In this session, we're going to be diving into the complexities of climate change and the urgent need to accelerate that transition to clean energy. We're going to hear from people who are driving real-world solutions right here in this region. In the next few minutes, I'm going to ask you to join me in welcoming to the stage Khalid bin Hadi. He is Managing Director of Siemens Energy. Also, engineer Yousif Al-Ali. He is CEO of Etihad Water and Electricity. And to moderate this discussion, an expert in his field, Dragos Fundulea, who is Vice President of Sustainability at Kearney, Middle East and Africa. Please join me in welcoming them to the stage.
Thank you very much, Georgia, for the introduction, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you feel energized after today's great discussions here in Abu Dhabi. It's a privilege to welcome you to this session where we discuss clearly a topic which is very close to my heart, sustainability, and specifically how to address climate change and advance clean energy. Not long ago, sustainability was often treated as a compliance issue or a secondary topic, separate from mainstream strategies. Today, sustainability and climate action sits at the core of national competitiveness, investor priorities, and public trust. In the session, I'll invite you to deep dive into how clean energy is a strong foundation for the future economic models, be it through grid transformation, be it through energy efficiency or green infrastructure. So with no further ado, I'll invite you to start the discussion with our distinguished guests who are actually driving this clean transformation within the UAE. Taking into account, as a first question, the ambitious sustainability agenda, could you elaborate on which are Etihad's flagship projects that reflect these ambitions?
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me to this economical event, and thank you for including sustainability as part of the agenda. So just to give you an introduction about Etihad, we are the company that supplies water electricity services to the North Emirates, the north part of the United Arab Emirates. We get supplied by, when it comes to electricity, we are supplied by Abu Dhabi. And by being part of the national grid and Abu Dhabi grid, we enjoy a very clean electricity. So I can say it has the lowest carbon footprint compared to the region, because of the huge projects implemented and generating electricity, clean energy projects, renewable or nuclear. So we've done a lot when it comes to generation side. We have the cleanest energy compared to our neighbors. We need to work a lot on the demand side, and this is what Etihad Water Electricity Company focus on. Over the last, let's say, 5 to 7 years, we were able to reduce the carbon footprint of our water production almost by 75%. And this is by implementing different technologies for desalination, shifting from thermal energy to reverse osmosis energy. This itself reduced significantly the carbon footprint of our desalination. The other part that we worked on is the reduction of the pumping cost and emissions due to electricity consumption in managing the network and pumping. So these two elements allowed us to significantly reduce the carbon footprint of our water business from production to transmission. And now our focus mainly in the next couple of years to reduce the losses and increase the efficiencies in the network itself. So we implemented many technologies for leak detection. We have a smart metering system. We have a smart control system in order to reduce the carbon, the losses that happens to our network. So starting from electricity, we have the best or the lowest carbon footprint of our electricity. We worked a lot in production, transmission of water. We reduced significantly. Now we are more focused on distribution and our customers' awareness to reduce the losses that we have in the demand side.
Thank you very much. Indeed, having the full perspective is extremely important from generation up to, of course, final demand. I turn now to Mr. Khalid and thinking about the entire infrastructure. Could you mention again, in a similar fashion, some of the flagship projects that you have participated in this transition?
First of all, I would like to thank Joe and Economy Middle East for the opportunities, and also to be with my dear friend Yousif, sharing some perspectives. I think it's important first to start by defining the moment in the global energy transitions. What's happening worldwide, it's becoming national issues across the energy landscapes. Today, what we are seeing is how we are going to decarbonize the energy systems while ensuring energy security and economic growth. So you have three elements where you want to balance. What's really interesting, I was reading a report by international energy agencies. It says global investment in clean energy is set to exceed 2 trillion in 2024. Yet, we are still not on track to meet tripling of renewables and doubling efficiencies. And then on the other hand, you see ARENA projects that to meet those goals, the world must add over 1,000 gigawatts of renewables annually, nearly double the current pace. You can imagine, okay, big numbers, big investments, big roadmaps. But the question is how we are going to achieve this if we don't work together as one team, where it requires technology, infrastructure, collaborations, and regulations to accelerate that growth. Delivering on this vision demands more than ambition. It requires, as I mentioned, technology and collaborations between private and government sectors. Today, what I would like to mention also, that's where Siemens Energy plays a fundamental role in the energy landscape across the value chain. We operate across more than 90 countries, enabling energy system that is cleaner, smarter, and more resilient. From renewables to hydrogens to grid stability, digitalizations, and low-emission industry solutions. What also I would like to share, as you wanted me to share some key projects, there has been a lot of, let's say, interesting journey in the UAE, like establishing the largest PV solar in Al Dhafra, which is 2 gigawatts in Abu Dhabi. We are also participating in this, where we are also integrating the grid transformation. We are perhaps the first, let's say, to establish the first pilot green hydrogen plant in the country, which is the first of its kind in the region, Middle East and North of Africa. And of course, there are many examples which I can highlight maybe during our discussions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I turn a bit back to some of the elements that you mentioned previously, especially linked to evolving landscape and not thinking only about generation and transmission and distribution. How is the offering evolving beyond the utility business to other offerings currently?
To others?
To other offering, to other functions, to other services that you are offering beyond just commodity and basic utility bit.
Again, repeating, over the last years, we invested more than 6 billion dirham to reduce our carbon footprint through multiple projects. Naqa project on Al Qawain is massive, one of the biggest desalination projects in the world. Then Al Khureja pumping station, also one of the biggest. Now is the focus more on the demand side, engaging more with the community, with the people that we serve. So last year we launched a very interesting initiative together with the municipality of Ras Al Khaimah. So we offer to UAE National free consultancy covered by Etihad Water Electricity Company to give them tips on how to manage their demand, water and electricity. And guess what? Whoever is able to implement the recommendation and able to reduce emissions, we give him exactly whatever he saved and reduced, we give him a free electricity equivalent. So if your bill, let's say, is 2,000 dirham and you are able to reduce it by half, you get the other half for free. So this is very interesting offering that we are trying now to have it in the other Emirates, in Umm Al Quwain, Ajman and Fujairah. And we have many people subscribing. We wish to have more people, but we are not reaching the limit. The other initiative that also launched earlier or last year is the distributed solar initiative. So we are allowing industries and UAE nationals and farms, UAE nationals consumers and farms, to have 10% of their consumption by rooftop, by electricity rooftop, through a settlement system with the network. So as I said earlier, the focus more on engaging people, because we have huge opportunities that we can harvest easily on the demand side. Not only the normal consumers, with industries, energy efficiency projects, and we do all this in collaboration with the local Emirates, municipalities, and also the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure.
This is a very interesting element, and thank you for this gamification, and fundamentally always having a bonus towards energy efficiency and water efficiency is very important to drive this. I come back to another element which is very important in this clean energy transition, and it's innovation fundamentally. Maybe you can walk us through to how Siemens Energy is actually promoting innovation in the region and some of the major milestones that has achieved.
I think before coming to promoting the innovation, what's really important is to understand the dynamics around sustainabilities and why we have chosen Abu Dhabi or the UAE as our, let's say, global hub. I think when you look at the UAE sustainability agenda is not only being ambitious, it's about action-oriented. And today what we are seeing, Abu Dhabi and UAE is leading the way forward. If you look at the track record, it was the first country to sign the Paris Agreement in 2016 in the region, and the first country to announce net zero by 2050. More than 40 billion of renewables investment came into the UAE. Also, the UAE have announced more than 500 billion dirhams worth of investment in that. So all those facts are very important for us to make a decision where we would like to invest in terms of innovation, technology, and people. And looking at that, you have the industry and the ecosystem that supports. And therefore, we decided last year to establish one of our 4th Global Innovation Center based here in Abu Dhabi in partnership with ADO and also Khalifa University. On top of that, we decided to place it at Khalifa University, because if you want to invest in the future, you need to invest at universities in the academy and the future talents. Today, everyone is talking about technologies, investment, infrastructures, but the questions, do we have the right competence, capabilities to take the journey moving forward? This is the biggest questions that we need to have in our mind. And also what's really important is having industry partners. You can have it on Innovation Center, but if you don't have the partnership and the industry, the question, how can you scale it up? Sometimes we misuse the word of innovation. Innovation and applied innovation, it's about solving a problem. So we need to look at the challenges the industry is going through and how we as innovation platform can solve those problems. How can we scale those solutions? So what I'm really proud of that today, we are seeing us as a strategic partner in the UAE, working hand in hand to solve the challenges that we are seeing in the energy transformation. We are also part of the journey, which is very important. We're working very close in partnership like DIWA, ADNOC, EWIC, TAQA, Masdar, and others. Today, this innovation center, it is home for the region and global. We look at certain, let's say, areas of development such as AI, hydrogen, industrial processes, and also blockchain. We look forward to continue this partnership and also to develop solutions locally and scale it up globally.
Maybe we continue the conversation because I like the angle of capacity building and empowering the next generation. Could you elaborate? You mentioned some of the initiatives like partnership with universities in terms of how do you actually support the next generation and building these capabilities within UAE?
Yeah. I think it's very important that we look into building capacities, and we have built a number of strategic initiatives to support, to build future leaders in the energy transitions. So definitely one thing which I must admit, we will not be able to do it on our own. So we need to work in a close partnership. So we have the apprentice programs where we take Emiratis and develop them into the transformation roadmap in our service center in Abu Dhabi. We also partner with Jusur to build on rotation programs between here and Germany. We're also looking at 3 years programs where we build competence around our portfolios, not only limited to the UAE, but also on a global scales. We're also looking forward to establish and build unique programs where organizations come together and start to rotate future leaders. What's really important for them, they get a broader perspectives. We see huge transformation in the economy. We see speed is becoming important, but also we need to take responsibilities and ownership to build on competence that will lead forward the transformation, the technology, and also the investments that is coming into the pipelines.
Thank you so much. Discussing about these investments, which are increasingly becoming complex, requiring support and participation from different ecosystem stakeholders. How is Etihad Week working with both public and private sector stakeholders to advance the clean energy agenda?
I think it's really key to work in partnership with the technology providers, with the experienced developers in order to get the let's say the best solution, the most optimized solution financially and technically. So in general, in Etihad, we are in general in UAE, we are an open market. Companies can come, innovate and compete to give us the best offering. And this is through the whole sector, renewable energy, conventional energy, desalination and all. So we are proud of our partnership with companies like Siemens. We were able to achieve a lot. In other projects, we partnered also with experienced developers. So example is Laqa project. Laqa project is a joint project between Etihad, Mubadala and Aqua Power from Saudi Arabia. We were able at that time to really have a deal and provide a very good offering for the country. So very low water production at low carbon footprint with very low cost. So we cannot achieve such thing without being open to partnership, without being open to new technologies that can help us to achieve our objectives.
Thank you so much. Indeed, the investment size increasing, the risks are different, the uncertainties regarding, in some cases, the off-taking becomes a reality. What's the perspective of Siemens with regards to building partnership, especially in the area of new technologies where these uncertainties actually are increasing and you need to pull together actually collaboration between different parties?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, and I would like also to emphasize further, partnership is the backbone of our success. Without having the true partnership, we will not be able to succeed to accelerate the energy transitions and also the investments. What we have seen as a company like us, Siemens Energy, one of the world leading energy technology, sometimes you have the investment ready, but you don't have the policies to support you. Sometimes you have the policy ready for you, but you don't have the competence or the partnership that can also drive it forward. And I want to emphasize one thing where we are very much proud of our partnership in the country is today, if you look at the UAE companies, whether it's Taqa, whether it's Masdar and so on, those companies are becoming a global energy leaders, which makes our partnership not only on a local but also on a global scales. And this is what is much needed. Today, we are working closely, whether it's Masdar or EWEC or Taqa, on international projects. So the question is how we are today using the local model by escalating it on a regional and global. And there are many great successes that we have seen, whether we are working with Taqa in one of the Saudi projects, whether we're working with ADQ in certain Europe or US markets, whether we're working with M-Steel on the green hydrogens. So again, I like the fact that this partnership is becoming two-way partnerships, scaling from local to global and also bringing technology, investments and expertise from global to local. And this is the best partnership that you can have as a real model. As I mentioned, partnership is a two ways. A lot of the organization think and believe partnership is a one-way thing. So I'm really proud of how our partnership is developing. We're looking forward to scale that partnership and to use it as a success model.
Thank you so much. Maybe a question, Engineer Yousif, coming back to, we discussed about the traditional water and energy and a lot of the initiatives in terms of demand management. But a lot of the initiatives that you have engaged in go beyond, go into mobility, go into decentralized energy generation. Is this one of the core areas that you will develop the offering in the following years?
Yeah, just thank you for reminding me of the other business that we are doing. So beyond our traditional business, improving our efficiency in our traditional business, we also ventured into EV, electric vehicle charging business. So we established together with the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure UAV, a company that is specialized in providing charging stations, fast charging stations, mainly all over the United Arab Emirates. So today we have more than 100 chargers in the North Emirates. So if you go in a summer trip to Dibba or Fujairah or Ras Al Khaimah, all the highways, you have yourself covered and you have our chargers everywhere in the North Emirates. So this is an important business. We really believe electric cars will take a significant market share at the private use. Also at the governmental use, it's a clear target by government of the United Arab Emirates to achieve 100% EVs by the year 2035. So we need really to provide the infrastructure to enable this to happen.
In line with a very ambitious NDC that has been provided, so it has been issued, so it's very ambitious. I'll invite you now to maybe leave the audience just with a few final closing remarks in terms of reflection points from the panel, considering this forward-looking topic.
Yeah, so I'll leave you with these thoughts. The best way to predict the future is to create it. And I like what the UAE have done, let's say, over the course of years, scaling up partnerships, building the right infrastructure, setting up the standards, scaling up, hosting COP28. Most of, as I mentioned earlier, the local companies became a global players, setting up the sustainability targets. We're very much proud to be part of this journey, to support, to accelerate on a national and also on regional and global. With this, we look forward to continue these partnerships, and hopefully you will hear many success stories.
Thank you very much, Engineer Yousif.
I think when it comes to sustainability, we have an ambitious target as a country. We are determined to achieve carbon neutrality by the year 2050. Many countries announce similar targets, different dates. Frankly speaking, we are clear about the target, but nobody knows how the target will be achieved. It's a learning journey. We need the support of everybody, investors, private sector, regulators, technology companies. Together, we'll define how we will achieve our sustainability target by the year 2050. We've done great so far, and I'm sure we'll be able to achieve the target.
I'll personally take this takeaway together in terms of this sustainability journey. Thank you so much for sharing these valuable insights and perspectives. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking our distinguished speakers and giving them a well round of applause.